Hi everyone, thanks so much for clicking on this charlatan chess video. Here we have a game between two regular players of our meetups, Tim, who you've seen in other videos, and Gary. These are two seasoned players who, although they're not grandmasters, they've honed their skills through countless games over the years. And we also have a surprise guest showing up in this video. Get ready, I'll let you know when he's about to show up. Anyways, right here in the middle game, it started with the London system, which is a very strong, solid opening, very popular old man chess opening. And here we go, after queen g4, knight f3, bishop b7 over here. Tim already has a lot of pressure on black's king side, and after g6, Gary has now done something that I've heard a lot of grandmasters say you're not supposed to do: combine the moves e6 and g6. All of his pawns on the king side are on light squares, making his dark squares a bit weaker. Here we go, we see Tim lashing out h4, h5, and Gary thinks for a moment about what to do, and ultimately he plays queen e7, which is quite passive, allowing Tim the chance now to possibly push his pawn yet again to h6. And after bishop f8, you get to play this bishop g5, and then take on f6 with the pawn, and the queen is now on f7. And Gary doesn't have a good place for his king to go at this point. He's really ripped open the king side, or Tim successfully pulled that off, and the queen side's quite extended. The only one thing that Gary has, though, is a slightly bigger center right now. However, Tim has a nice, comfortable position. He ultimately pivots with a move like queen f4 right here. And then Gary does castle queenside. And at this moment, get ready. This is what Tim's thinking about right here. This is what's going through Tim's mind. Hope you enjoyed that. Anyways, yeah, you can clearly see that Gary's position is way less than ideal here. His queen side is very open and overextended, and his king side has these f and h pawns gripping down on it. He ultimately does play queen h4 just to hold down that f pawn, add another defender to it. And after bishop d6, this is a critical moment to try to pick a plan here. But he obviously can tell that his position's better at this point, and he's just looking for the way to be the praying mantis in that video. So he goes with knight h2, a nice little pivoting, rerouting move. Can't say I would have played that move myself, however, it does work out for him. Gary goes knight e5, of course you gotta save the bishop there, bishop e2. And way better to play bishop e2 there, by the way, than to try to guard the bishop with your rook or something. And then Gary goes king c7, which is a very strange move. And now that that knight's no longer pressing the f-pawn, the queen is free to leave its defense of that f-pawn and swing over to the queen side with queen a4. And after b5, Tim makes another very smart move here. Don't be tempted by a move like bishop takes b5 there, just save your queen. And now that the queen's no longer on a4, after rook f8, he's able to play a4, another very accurate, very good move, trying to open up that a file. And after Gary pushes c4, a takes b5 happens. And after a takes b5 back, now that a file is opened up. And so now it's just a matter of getting all your pieces into the game. That knight that he pulled to h2, well, now it's time for that knight to come back into the game. So he does take a little while on this move. However, I do feel like this move is very accurate. What he plays next, knight f3. And Gary tries to contest the a file, and Tim makes another move, castling to get his rooks connected. And after Gary plays knight g4, which was a very inaccurate move, there is a very nice move that Tim finds, winning the game because it creates two threats that you can't guard against. Both knight to d4, attacking the b5 pawn with a check, as well as when you guard that, like Gary tries to do, the knight that he just put on g4 hangs to the bishop through a discovered attack when the knight left the f3 square. Gary decides to just trade the rooks finally, and then after he plays this final move, queen e8, it's time to resign because he falls to that knight fork. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Bye now.